Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? It's Sunday, January 31st, near the end of the month. I hope you guys have had an amazing January so far. It's been a pretty good month, I would have to say. Cryptocurrency has been a little bit hectic, but we're going to try to decipher a lot of things out here. If you guys enjoy my videos, I would also appreciate an upvote on Steemit, and make sure you also like, subscribe, and share to this stuff on YouTube and on Twitter as well. And if you guys especially want to thank me and let me know I'm doing an awesome job, you're welcome to buy me a beer and my dog a beer as well, and donate to the cryptocurrency piggy bank. But don't ever feel obligated, alright? Just some people like to go out of their way and let me know. Otherwise, no worries at all. So we're gonna go over Tron for several reasons, because, well, mainly I'm a fan of the coin in general, and we have to understand a lot of things. Okay, so let's go over coin market cap first of all. So we're gonna go over to coin market cap, and we're gonna take a look at Tron and see how it's doing so far. Now, what we've noticed, let's go to historical data first of all, charts. What we noticed about it is that the all-time high was about 23 cents, I believe, right? 30 cents almost. Yeah, it was around 30 cents up here. I can't really get to it, but yeah, it was around the 30 cents range, okay? And that was in the beginning of January. Now we're gonna go to historical data and just check out what kind of volume it reached, right? Right now, we're reaching about, 267,000 right now, USD. But before, we were reaching pretty much $1 billion in 24-hour volume. And what we've noticed pretty much since January 18 here is that the volume has been slowly dying off as the days go by, right? Now, I want to talk to you guys about what my plans are for long term. I do not plan to day trade this coin whatsoever, but I just want to talk about my specific strategy of laddering that I'm going to be employing to start accumulating some of these right now. Well, not right now, but probably in the very short term. So let's go over this. And another thing we need to acknowledge is this, okay? For every single major wave, call it a wave, like a rush, a wave, a big impulse move up, right? Call that a wave where buyers are rushing in, there's a lot of FOMO, there's a lot of hype, and everybody wants to get on board with it, right? That is what happened already, and the first wave is now done. So what we're waiting for now is a second wind. Now, we don't know when it's going to happen, but what we can do is prepare for it and start planning and start looking at possible ways for us to maximize our gains and also minimize our risk and also bottom line expenses in general. So I'm going to talk about Elliott Wave really quickly first of all. I apologize if I'm a little bit tired today. I only got about 4 hours of sleep maybe. I didn't really get too much sleep. There was a little bit of a restless night there. So now we're talking about waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that forms like this, right? Now, I'd like to talk about Fibonacci as well. So Fibonacci, you always take Fibonacci for wave 1 right here only for the wave 2, okay? So that's how you do Fib retracement for wave 2. Now for wave 4, same thing. You only take it for the previous wave. But if you guys ever take your Fibonacci for this particular wave right here only, for wave 5, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble, right? You don't ever want to do that, folks. What you want to do is you want to take Fibonacci for the entire wave like that. Now, when we say the wave already happened, we're talking about the first impulse wave that goes up there. This makes one big wave just like that. Now, after we get some sort of massive wave like that, we will get some sort of correction like this, where this could possibly make just a rough example, maybe an ABC type of pattern like that, right? So then what we do is we take our Fibonacci for all waves 1 to 5 and see where it's leveling off, and we can use these as a really good guideline for where it could possibly retrace. And I want to go over a few things with you guys here as well. So I'm just going to delete this off here, a little bit of an OCD thing. Okay, so before, I thought that it was actually going to start picking up again. So let's figure out what price is at right now. What's 0.0535 BTC to USD? So right now it's about 535. I'm just going to make note of it. 53 cents right now. That's what it is, all right? Okay, 53 cents. Now what we've noticed so far is that it has retraced between this specific region, right? Between this region right there, between 618 and the 786 Fibonacci retracement level. Now that's a good sign. That's leveling off there right now. But I also want to go over this with you folks as well here. I want to go over Fibonacci extensions just to give you guys an idea of how people targeted very simple things here. And this was actually a really cool coin to have traded. I didn't do it myself. I wasn't trading because it wasn't available on bitfinex at that time. But for the people that were trading it, I'm sure it was incredibly profitable. And let me explain to you guys why, first of all. Now, sometimes, I'm going to go over theory first. Sometimes we get a decent wave 3 like that, and then we get a massive fifth wave extension, okay? This is called an extended fifth wave. Now, what we like to do, for generally speaking, for wave 3, for what I do rather, is the wave 3, I will target slightly higher than 1-to-1, right? And then the wave 5, I'll automatically target somewhere higher than 161.8, maybe roughly right here. But of course, sometimes the fifth wave could be massive like this, all right? So I'm going to show you guys in hindsight how this could have been played, okay? So this was clearly the first wave going up like that. So you would take your Fibonacci retracement tool, or sorry, extension tool, and then you would figure out right around here where it retraces to, okay? Like right around this region. I would say that this is the peak right here. So then the next lowest point would be right here, okay? Be right around there. So this would be wave 1. So the people that were looking to buy, this would have been the most perfect time to buy. What you want to generally do after the first wave is you would like to target between the 0.5 and the 618 Fibonacci region. Just assume that it's going to retain some sort of bullishness, okay? You know, around that range right there. I don't know why I can't get into an exact box, but you guys get what I mean, right? Just around that range. That is so weird how I can't do that. Let me try that again here. Okay. So you want to draw a box in here. That's really weird, this triangle. Anyways, so yeah, so now you want to get between 0.5 and the 618 region. And then after you get that target right there, nailed, and your limit orders have filled, what you would like to do is generally target a little bit higher than the 1-to-1 for a wave 3. That's what I do. Everyone has different rules that they follow. So then they shoot for this one right here, right? So that would have been a perfect place for you guys to target and actually take some profit up there. Now this one right here was a very, very extended fifth wave, as we can see in here, right? It made a major, major wave up there. Now one might even argue as well, just for argument's sake, okay guys? One might even argue that this is a wave, like this. This is a count, just bear with me here, like that, and pretty much right around there. And then we get a fifth wave up there, right? Another argument could possibly be, I'm too lazy to count it formally, something like that as well. This could also look acceptable. But either way, we get 5 beautiful waves up, and now we are getting some sort of correction, aren't we? Now, let's take a look at this retracement right in here as well, okay, of this wave. What we notice as well is that this wave is falling directly in between 618 and the 786 level, right? Now, what we are also noticing on top of that is that the whole structure as well is actually falling in between the exact same place. So now we've got 2 ranges, right? This Fibonacci range between the 618 and 786 level, and also of this wave only right now, which is actually a really good sign that it seems to like between the 618 and the 786 Fibonacci level, right? So let's just say that this starts to level off around 514. Let's do some long-term projections, okay? Just based on the first impulse wave up and also the corrective pattern that is happening right now, we're going to assume that this is the lowest that it will go. So it's very easy to predict longer-term targets. Now my long-term targets still stand for a minimum target of about 2387 Satoshi. Now what does that work out to be, guys? 2387, I don't know, it's easier to work with dollars sometimes, so about 28 cents or something, we'll say, okay? like, you know, 24 cents or whatever like that. So around there, that's going to be my range up there. I'm not taking I'm not taking like appreciation or depreciation of Bitcoin or anything like that into account. Just some very general targets, okay? That's just for a basic target, and my higher end target is most likely something way up here right now, okay? Way up there right now, around 36 cents or so, okay? So this is my thoughts right now. I'm going to be waiting for this. This is absolutely leveling off, and I'm sure that we can all agree with each other right now that this is clearly leveling off like that somehow right now, right? It's forming some sort of base and a channel as well that it's conforming to. I don't know why this always snaps. I feel like my trading view is very different than it was before the update here. So this is kind of conforming to this pattern right in here, right? So I firmly feel like something is going to happen soon because it's actually getting tighter. It's not exactly a channel. If we consider some bull traps, what we can actually see is it's getting tighter, right? It's getting tighter and tighter and tighter in here. And if it was a normal channel, then I wouldn't even think twice of it, right? But then we can also move this down a tiny bit as well, move it up like that. And this might actually look like a channel, but you know, regardless of how we draw it, it sort of more looks like a wedge than anything, right? Where it eventually wants to break out of it. So we clearly have a support range around here, right? Which is around the 3 to 4 cent range, say actually 3.8 to about the 4.5 cent range right here, okay? So my thoughts are this. I'm going to start accumulating right around here. We have to understand that the wave has happened already, and after a massive wave happens, we're going to be waiting for a second wave. Now, let me explain to you guys what I'm talking about, all right? Just to give you a basic idea. So wave 1 does something like that. Wave 2 does something like that. We'll just pretend wave 3 can get somewhere up there just based on a 1-to-1 extension by Fibonacci, okay? We'll actually go even higher than that just to be on the safe side and make sure we account into other factors as well. Okay, so wave 2 is somewhere in here. Okay, we'll say middle of wave 3 there. We'll say be above the wave 1 there and maybe slightly up there, right? So what we're looking for is something like that. And this has been a fairly bullish coin. So my long-term predictions will fairly stand between like wave 3 here, roughly 30 cents right now, or 30,000 Satoshi. And then the next one up here would maybe be around, we'll just say, you know, a little higher than 161.8, just a rough guess as well. So around the 40 cent range or the 4,000 Satoshi range. So long-term targets, I've got no doubt in my mind. You guys have to ask yourself, what kind of person are you in the crypto game? Are you an investor that holds very long-term? Are you not an investor and you're a trader, so holding is not really acceptable to you because capital is tied up, etc., right? So you have to ask yourself as well, how much pain can you tolerate, right? Myself, I can tolerate a lot of pain. Now, I'm not the best investor, right? I don't know a lot about investing in general, but I get the gist of holding long term, right? I'm just doing very basic type of extrapolation based on Fibonacci extensions to project these targets. So I do think that we could most likely hit these zones. And if you guys have been following up with a lot of my TA in the past before, a lot of these targets have been hit by using a very basic extrapolation method such as this. Now, we're going to talk about some possible plays here, okay? So I plan to accumulate 2 places, and I'm going to draw a line. I plan to accumulate around the 50 cent range, or very soon, right? Very soon, I plan to accumulate right around here, say. Oh, sorry, I'm just getting this option here. Say like there. And I also plan to accumulate if it does get down to these lower regions here. Now that's a little bit extreme the way I drew it. I think it will more so hit. I don't know why this green box does that. It's really irritating actually. It snaps. See what I mean? So look at that. It's snapping, right? Snapped. That's so weird. It's never done this before, and not until the update that just happened. So anyways, another place I will plan to accumulate is somewhere roughly down here as well. So if we make note of this, we're talking about 5.5 2 cents and about 4.73 cents. So I'm going to pull up my Excel spreadsheet here and just give you guys a very basic scenario of my intentions, all right? So let's say I buy at 0.0535 cents, which is what it's at right now, okay? We're just using a rough estimate, which is at this line right here. Well, this line is a pretty acceptable place for me to buy it right now, okay? But of course, I'm going to accept the fact that it might possibly drop down lower as well. Now, my position size personally that I want to play for this for a fairly longer term hold, and I apologize if I'm speaking freely about this, but I'm trying to be transparent, and it's hard for me to make up scenarios. I'd rather speak from actual personal experience and what I plan to do, so maybe people can relate to it a little bit better, right? Rather than just giving fake scenarios that are not true or made up. So I plan to buy in specific spots. I plan to buy around 535, we'll say, or sorry, we'll say 513. What does that work out to? 513 Satoshi. 513, that's actually 51 cents, okay? So let's say I bought it at 51 cents or 52.5, whatever, 52. That's about $5,200, right? Now, if that ends up being the very bottom and we level out and I start to see the volume pick up, then what I'll end up doing is I'll just double up because I plan to play a $10,000 position, okay? Then perfect. My average price is 0.052. 0.052, remember that. Okay, but let's say it actually does drop down a little bit lower to around this line. Now that'll be 474 Satoshi, so that actually works out to be about 47 cents. Well, if it falls down there, then I'm actually going to add 474. I'm going to add another 1,000 to my position, or 100,000 to my position, which will now make a total, right? It'll now make a total of $9,940. And I'll actually have 200,000 coins total, and my total price is $99.40. And now my average price for the coins are actually $497, right? $497. So guys, what I will plan to do, and I'm very serious about this play, I'm going to hold this coin for a really long time, okay? I'm going to try to target over a 1-to-1 extension for extremely long term. We're talking about months and months down the road, okay? Because I do believe that there's some massive gains to be made. Now, let's say I entered a position right there, and now my average price was what? 497. Let's just put this here at 497, my coordinates. 497. That will be my entry point. Now, my stop loss, I can take a lot of pain. I don't know about you guys, but I could sure take a lot of pain. I will set my stop loss to around the 35-cent range, roughly, okay? I know that's a really big loss, but you know what? I'm going to show you guys how I plan to manage it, all right? So just hear me out. So now, we have our target already set, or my target already set, rather. My target is set for somewhere very high. It's somewhere well up there. We'll say between the 100 and the 618 fib level, right around here, just for argument's sake. That's 29 cents, right? And also, this is kind of a longer term position, and it's a little bit risky, right? So I think to myself right now, is this risk to reward worth it for long term? We're talking about a 16.55 risk to reward ratio. Yeah, it's actually really darn good, right? I got a chance to gain quite a bit. Like, we're talking about a coin based on this first wave right here that has happened already, okay? We're talking about a possible 400 to 500% gain. Now, these extrapolations are very common, okay? They are incredibly common for 1-to-1 or 161.8 extensions, etc. Look at IOTA, guys, when I projected that one, remember? Or Litecoin or Ethereum. Just look back. If you guys want to see some of the predictions that I've made, go to my Steemit blog and take a look at some of the predictions that I've made, okay? Now, I don't know if you guys have been following me, but let me show you guys, like, when I actually kept the public track record that people could easily follow me on every single one of my trades. I didn't do it in November because I took a day off, or month off, December, I mean. January I didn't do it because I was just slowly getting back into it, but November I kept the public track record for a lot of calls that I made, and we nailed 90.5%, or 19 out of 21, and I actually lost only 2 trades that month, and everything was 100% transparent. So I lost on NEO and BCH. But what I'm getting to is that, guys, what I'm getting to is that the extrapolation methods that I've used is very simple. It's the exact same way that I'm doing it right now. So I'm very hopeful that Tron will actually have a long-term potential, right? Long-term growth. Now, I don't know if this is going to break out here or not. Now, I don't know if Wave 2 is going to be way over there extended. I don't know when it's going to break out. Nobody does. That's impossible to guess. We're going to have to wait for some fundamental news to be released and a lot more volume to be picked up in general as well. Now, another thing is that I believe in this project, okay? Believe it or not, despite me saying I don't know anything fundamentally, it's more so joking around as well. Of course, I follow some of the fundamental news that's major. Now, now this is what I plan to do, which I'm sharing with you guys. If it falls down to over here, actually, right? If it falls down over here to, I don't know, somewhere in that range, I don't know why I cannot even change this box. It's actually really irritating. Okay, there we go. So if it falls down to somewhere in there, chances are I'm not gonna get stopped out. I'll show you guys what I plan to do probably instead, knowing me. I will most likely buy around this region right there, which is the 246 range, right? And what I will most likely do is this. I'll actually end up buying twice the amount. It's only 10,000 for if it bounces there, but if it goes lower, I'm absolutely going to consider this. This is worst case scenario, okay? I will buy another 200,000 coins, which is actually only going to cost me the same amount for when I bought at 474. So now I've spent 15K. I now have 400,000 coins. And then right here, my average price is now 3715, okay? So now I'm going to change this right here to 3715. 3715, all right? There we go. I'm going to change it to 3715. I will set my stop loss slightly lower only than this region right here. Slightly right here, and I will still target the exact same place. So now I'm managing my risk pretty darn well, right? And now I've got a 9.62 risk to reward right there because I believe in the long-term project. I don't think it's going to fall back to, to super low range, like in the 1.4 cent range, right? Or sorry, 0.14 cent range. I believe that this is probably the maximum that it will ever retrace because there was so much action there. So these are my thoughts for Tron. I'm just trying to give you guys an idea of how you can ladder your buys and manage your risk for the long term if you are an investor rather than a day trader or a swing trader, right? So I do plan to follow these series of steps, which will these series of buys that will reduce my average cost of it. And I do think that if it does go down there, getting Tron, thinking of the potential long term fundamentally as well, that 3.7 cents is very reasonable, right? Of a price to average, and especially if you take a look at the one-to-one extension and the one-to-one extension and the 161.8 extension here as well. So I just want to share with you guys my thoughts and what I plan to do for Tron for the long term. So this is a way that you can ladder your buys that can average out your price and manage your risk, because buying from one position, guys, it's pretty bad. You don't ever want to do that. You always want to average out your buys. You always want to ladder slowly and accumulate as well during the accumulation phase, right? Then eventually we'll get to the public participation phase, and then eventually the excess phase will hit for Dow theory as well. So these are my quick thoughts on Tron that I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys enjoyed these videos, I would really appreciate an upvote on Steemit, and make sure you also like, subscribe, and share to all the content on YouTube and on Twitter as well. And if you find that this has incredibly helped your game in general, you're welcome to donate to the Luna and Philicon cryptocurrency piggy bank, which all goes towards Luna, to be honest, just for her emergency bills down the road. And you guys can buy me a beer or something and just say thanks in general, but don't ever feel obligated. I'm cool. Other than that, have yourselves a great day. My target does still stand, guys, for pretty hefty targets, like over 30 cents, over 40 cents down the road. But this is far, far down the road, okay? So don't mistake it for a very short-term play here. I just wanted to be very, very clear with you guys. Other than that, have a great day. I hope I've provided some sort of insight to your trading, and I look forward to seeing you guys more in February. Bye now.